Yes, welcome to this weekly market outlook. So let's start straight with our dollar index because it will help us understand the direction of the other dollar pairs, and then how we can position ourselves for trading opportunities on the dollar pairs. So looking at the dollar index from the monthly chart, we have this high, which the market has not yet, which the market has failed to break. So market was heading up. We were thinking there was possibility of the market coming to retest this region where the price broke below to form a new low, which was this. So once price was headed up here, we thought it would come all the way here, and then we had a high, and then the market broke back down. So where did it break? So this is the area of break where the market actually broke. If you just extend it all the way up to here, you realize this is your resistance area, because we have this area here, and the market breaks back inside. So once you have a look at that, then you will have to look at this as your low. So if this is our low, and if we extend it to the left here, this is where the market broke out from to give us this low. And then it is also important to be able to understand this high here on the monthly, which is also our resistance area. So once we have these areas defined already, we can possibly switch to a lower time frame. In that case, will be the weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame, we want to mark our trading areas and our trading zone. So we have possible resistance area here, and then also here. But now the market is actually headed to this resistance area. So one of the best things to actually do is to be able to patiently wait for price to be able to come to these areas, all these, before we can begin to think of trading. Because right now we are in the middle of price leaving this low here and headed to a resistance area. So we don't have really extra information here apart from the fact that this was a strong break candle that took away these highs. Okay. So you can actually say these other highs were taken out. So we had this high and also this one here. So this is our support area here. So with the knowledge of this support area, it is very possible to at least wait for price to be able to reach to this resistance area. And then maybe these are the ones here with proper confirmations before we can start thinking of selling it. So we have a resistance there and this. So once we know that market left support here, we can begin to switch to a lower time frame. In that case, will be the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, you can see clearly here, this was our resistance area. We just drag it all the way up to here. Because in this area, we had a strong market break. Market was actually ranging. We had an impulse to the upside. Then the whole of this correction, there was a range. Okay, if you have to just mark it like this, the whole of this is a correction. And then the market also was able to break out of this range with this candle. So we had a big push to the upside, a correction. Remember, this is a daily candle. So this is one of the reasons why you really need to understand the stage at which the market is in before you can actually trade, because you will get stuck here buying and selling, yet it is a bigger correction because this is daily candle. So the market spent several days here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, over 9 days. Market was ranging between these highs and then these lows after an impulse. Then this was a bigger correction. And now we had another impulse here, which was a break of this resistance. And now we have a correction. So if you look at this carefully, you will want to actually wait for price to be able to get out of this zone. So we had another impulse here. Now possible correction. More days are actually being spent here. So we have this situation where the market is spending more days the same way here. So impulse, corrections, impulse, possible correction to break above this. And then we can begin to be interested in looking for trading opportunities on this resistance area and also this other resistance area. So for now, you don't want to get stuck in the DXY. The dollar is looking strong. but is approaching a resistance area, which may tell us the resistance will actually reduce for now. So just final one time frame, which is the 4-hourly time frame. When we are looking at everything from the 4-hourly time frame, this is what you get. These are the impulse, the correction, and then other impulse, then possible maybe impulse to the resistance area here, because we are at support. So you really don't want to get stuck into the dollar index. Okay. So the dollar is actually in a range. If you look at GU and the other dollar pairs, they are in a big range. So if you're going to scalp, possibly, but if you're going to swing and hold trades for long, this may not be the best time yet. So you need to be a little bit patient. Anyway, so let's look at one more dollar pair to just round this off. So let's go to the GU and also try to understand how the pound dollar is actually behaving in regard to the knowledge of the dollar index that we have, that the dollar is strong, but then it is ranging. All right, look at the dollar, the GU from the monthly time frame. This is a strong break candle, which took away this high. Okay. So if you extend this all the way up to here, you realize this is your support. This was an area of resistance, became support. Now, again, it is resistance. And then if you look at the whole of this region here, this was where the market actually broke out from. We look at the whole of this. So we had a low here, and then we had this single candle here taking away this low and then this low. So this is our area of breakout all the way up to here, because this same candle also took away. So we will have this as our resistance area. And then to just align it well, we can just put it on this high. So this is our all-time resistance. So we have our monthly resistance here, and then we have our support area here. And now, if you have this briefly defined, you realize the market is actually ranging in this area and in this form here. And then maybe possibly here, we want to look at the monthly highs and the monthly lows, this candle. So this is our monthly high here, which will act as our resistance. And then we also have our monthly low, this candle here. So now we have this support, and then also this support, which has not been retested, and then we have this resistance. Here we've narrowed our trading down to this zone, although we know we have other resistance areas once these ones are violated. So once we have all this clear, and there's nothing more on this time frame, we can go to the lower time frame, which will be our weekly time frame. And then on our weekly time frame, you will definitely realize, again, GU is actually ranging. And where is it ranging in between? It's ranging around this region here. But before we can conclude the area of range, we need to look at these lows. So these weekly lows also act as our support area. So we have this from starting from here all the way up to here. And then maybe let me mark it like that, so that we can have a clear support area. So we have a support here, and then the market is ranging here. So with that being said, we can actually push to another lower time frame, because now we have support, resistance, and then these are the bigger support. So with that being said, coming to the daily to look at the market as it is narrowing, the same way the dollar index was actually ranging, this is what is actually happening also with the GBPUSD, the pound dollar. So you don't want to get stuck really trading around this range. You want price to come break this support, or this support hold price, or this resistance before you can begin to pull a trigger. Otherwise, it is going to be in a range unless you are looking at the market from the smallest time frame possible. In that case, and then maybe you can find trading opportunities. But this is how it looks like on the daily, on the 4-hourly time frame. So with that being said, we know exactly how the dollar is behaving based on the DXY and then the GBPUSD. Maybe you will want to look at other dollar pairs to be able to draw a conclusion, which will be okay. So looking at the pound and the dollar in respect to the existence of the dollar index, that's what we have. But then now it is good to look at some of the fundamental events that are happening this week. So let's go to our calendar and see what is happening. So on Monday, which will be the 29th of January, we don't really have much. We don't have much, so we can go on to Tuesday. Tuesday too, we don't have much. until 6 p.m. when we shall have the consumer confidence and the jobs job openings on the dollar. So that will tell us there could be a possibility of volatility around that time. So if we are looking at the dollar, will this volatility be able to push dollar to the resistances and the support areas we had seen before, or something else? So going on to Wednesday, we have the Australian CPI, the quarterly Australian CPI, and the CPI, the yearly. So that means we have to look at some Australian pairs. Okay, so let's switch to some Australian pairs. With that case, I will want to go with a Euro AUD to be able to help us see how we want to possibly capture some trading opportunities based on the incoming volatility. Again, looking at this from the monthly time frame, we want to be able to understand our highs, our lows. So where did the market break out? Because if you look at this on the monthly, it is all a range. But if you start looking at it from here, you see this candle here. This is the candle that where we had the breakout. Okay. So on this breakout, we had support here when price came to retest this. So you need to look for strong candle breakout. So once you have your support clearly stipulated, the next thing you want to see is, do we have nearby resistance areas? So if you look at price from here, this is our all-time high, which will be our resistance based on the monthly time frame. Although we have other areas here which would act as a resistance, but they seem too many. So we want to see a possible area of breakout, something like that on a lower time frame. So you realize here, this was our monthly low, and this monthly low acted as a support area. So we have our support. Okay, so we have a lot of wicks here, which would also act as our resistance. If you look at these candles here, these two, you do like that. And then even if you extended it all the way up to here, you realize that this area held price for some time. So this is a good resistance area. And if you want to cover these wicks, there's actually no problem. You can cover them like that so that you can have everything. So now we know we are trading around here. So the moment we don't have any more information on the monthly about support, possible resistance and support, we can possibly switch to the weekly time frame. And on the weekly time frame, this is what we have. What do we have on the weekly time frame? So you can clearly see here why this support was also working, because we have this strong candle that took away this high. Okay, so this was our breakout area, and then this was the support. Okay, so the moment we have this, then we will want to see this high as a resistance. So we have the weekly high, which is also going to act as our resistance area. And if I just extend it all the way up to here, this is how it will look like. You can clearly see here, this was resistance, broken, became support. So this is an important area in the market. And then not forgetting the fact that this candle here took away these highs. This strong candle here took away this high. So this is our support area. Okay. And if I'm to just extend this line all the way up to here, you will see how important this area was. It was a very important area throughout. Okay, so you don't actually need, depending on how you trade, it is not a must for you to extend it all the way up to there. You just need to see here and work with the information. So the moment we have this, we know this is our support, resistance, resistance. So we don't have much more information, so we can come to the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame, you can clearly see what is possibly happening here. We have an area of impulse. We had this as an impulsive, and then we had possible correction, and now this support is holding price. So the question would be now, if this is broken, then we could actually head all the way to this next support. But if this support area holds price for long, we could actually head back to this resistance and begin to look for selling areas at the resistance area. So this is exactly what is happening on the 4-hourly time frame. So we are seeing this breakout area holding as support, and look at this candle here beginning to form highs after taking away this. So there is a possibility we could actually head up to these resistance areas or we break down. So this is where we are on Euro AUD. So will the volatility that is coming up on Wednesday be able to show us some things? Anyway, let's look at one more pair, and that is the GBPAUD. So GBPAUD, the pound Aussie, they tend to move correlatively with the Euro Aussie. So it is important to look at the two correlatively. So again, going to the monthly chart. So where do we start looking? An area of breakout. So the market broke out of this region. You can see a strong candle, the same way there was a strong candle here. So we had a strong candle here, first area of breakout. And then we also had another strong candle here. By that, I mean these candles here. And then now we have this all-time high, which is our monthly support area. So the moment we have this, we don't have much. We can go to the weekly. And then from the weekly, we begin to see. If we look left on this side, you look at this candle here. This is where the breakout occurred. So this is an important area for the resistance to be able to occur. Okay. So once we have that, so we have resistance. And then we had this also as our resistance area, which was also already rejected here, and price is actually playing. So we had impulse all the way. So there's been some strong bullish momentum to the upside. And this is, you look at this strong break also, this is where we also had our support area because the market broke. And then from here, we've been seeing a rally to the upside all the way up to now. These are the possible resistance we have. So coming to the daily, this is what we have on the daily, okay? So you can clearly say, this is the first resistance we have, and market is reacting on this resistance. And now we have another resistance area here. But we need to understand also this candle here is a breakout candle, and then it took away this breakout candle. So this is also our support, and then that. So coming to the 4-hourly time frame, you realize this is actually also is in a range. So the market is ranging here. So the best option and the best possible time and trade is when price pushes here and fails to break this, or if price is able to push all the way to this resistance and all of that, then we can be interested in trading. So that's what we have. And then maybe finally, it will be important to look at some Swissy pairs. Yeah, the Swissy pairs, they look good. So let's switch off to some two Swissy pairs before we can call it maybe a day. So coming to NZDCHF on the monthly candle, we need to be able to understand how it is playing. So on the monthly, it's looking strong. The Swiss is looking strong. So this is our monthly low. This is, by the way, our all-time monthly low, which will act as our support areas. And remember, in our previous video, in learning that the market is able to break low. If the market breaks low, there's usually a tendency to pull back. So with that being said, we can also tell that this is where the breakout occurred, all of this region. This was support, broken, became resistance. So once we don't have more, we can come to the weekly. And on the weekly, this is how it looks like. This will be the best breakout area because we have this strong bearish candle broke, and this was our resistance area. The same way we had this strong candle here to break this low, and this was our resistance area. And now we have resistance and then support. So all we have to do is wait for price to be able to come all the way to these support areas before we can start trading. Okay, so right now price is in a range. You don't want to be caught up in this range. It is a range, but it's a range to the downside. Price is slowly coming to the downside in a corrective manner, not with impulse, because we had an impulsive break and then correction downwards. So looking at that, this is a good support area that we shall begin to start looking for buying opportunities when price reaches here. And now we have a resistance here. Possibly if price pulls back to this and doesn't break this, that's when we can look for selling opportunities. With that being said, let's go to one more Swissy pairs, and then we can call it a day on the Swissy pair. So looking at GBPCHF, a very important Swissy pair. So what do we have? We have this as our all-time support area, and then wick, which has not yet been filled, and then we have this as our break of structure. Okay, because you look at this candle took away these lows. So once we have this, we can come to the weekly, and on the weekly, what do we have? So on the weekly, this can become our low, which will be our support, this area here. Okay, and now we have where the breakout occurred, which is also acting as our resistance area. We are seeing price, and don't forget this breakout here, which will also act as our support. So with that being said, we can now come to the daily, and we look at how the daily is actually looking. So on the daily, this is how it is looking. So we had another area of structural break, which was here, this candle here. And we see there was a retest of this, and now market is actually headed down to this support area. So looking at it from the 4-hourly time frame, we've seen this retested, and market is actually looking bearish. Okay, so there is a possibility that price could actually begin to sell all the way up to here, or if it fails to break this resistance area here, then we can possibly look for continuous selling opportunity. So that is it with the Swissy pairs. Finally, let's look at the gold and how gold is performing on a bigger picture. So looking at gold again from the monthly perspective, you realize that this was an all-time high, this, and then gold broke above, form a high here, and then breaks back inside into this. And now we are seeing a lot of bearish pressure. Okay, so once we have this, then it will be good to realize that these are monthly lows, which will act as our support areas. We have also another monthly low here. Okay, so since we don't have any more clear information, we have these as our all-time resistance, then our lows to support. We can come to the weekly, and on the weekly chart, this is how it looks like. Clearly, bearish. Gold is looking strong. I mean, the dollar is stronger than the gold. We have this resistance that price failed to break, and now we have this. So weekly, we don't have any more information apart from this support and this support here. So will price be able to come all the way to this support? That's what we shall have to see. And then on the daily, this is how it looks like. So on the daily, you can see there is a range, but then in this range, you need to mark that area of a breakout, which is this, which will act as our resistance area. Okay, even if you extend it all the way up to here, you will see how price was being held around this region. Okay, so we have a resistance, we have support, and we have this area breakout, another support. So price is ranging here. You don't want to be caught up in this mess. Maybe wait for price to be able to come to these lows or these highs before you can start trading, or if you want to hold trades for long. But right now, there is a bigger range here. So with that being said, it is important to finally look at the calendar and see the whole week. So we are done with the Aussie, which will be on Wednesday, and then we have the Euro for the German. So beware of the volatility. And again, we will have Canadian GDP, companies by non-farm employment change, and then finally on Friday for the US, we have unemployment claims. On Thursday, we have the pound monetary policy report on the pound. So this coming week is going to be full of volatility. And then don't forget, we have the non-farm payrolls on Friday for the US. So with that being said, I want to wish you good luck. Use proper risk management. Stay in the game for long. Thank you.